What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Real Word Podcast, a place where real thoughts, real ideas, and real words come to life. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. Thank you for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can hit up those links down below. It would really help out the channel and we would appreciate it a lot. And now we can get into the episode. It is July 31st, 2020. So welcome in Friday morning. Today is also my dad's birthday. So happy birthday to him. He's still in the house. I don't think he had woken up yet, so I don't know if he's working today or not. But whenever I see him, definitely gonna say happy birthday, all that. Probably treat him to some lunch, dinner, or something like that. My treat. But yeah. Other than that, not much planned for today. I do kind of have a handful or so of topics I kind of wanted to talk about and go over and everything like that, but we could start with a little recap of yesterday, I guess. So yesterday was my day off from doing a podcast episode or anything like that. So in the morning, I kind of just got up, had some coffee, and decided to do a little game streaming of Call of Duty Warzone. I haven't played in a handful of days, so just been busy with other stuff and all of that. I think my dad's still been playing, but we haven't been streaming or anything, so we got to get more consistent with that. I mean, once the Padres started, like, that kind of, changed everything, because I don't want to be streaming and playing while the Padres are on and having the chance to watch that. So that's what's been going on. But yeah, decided to stream a little bit on YouTube yesterday morning, and I was just doing my thing, and then all of a sudden I saw someone jump in the chat, and we started interacting a little bit, and we played a couple of duos with this kid. I think he was like 14 years old or something, from Texas, living in Texas. And yeah, you can go check it out. It's on the YouTube stream. Yeah, it was cool. Like, I don't play duos. Like I've said plenty of times, like, I've never really played Call of Duty before, and this is probably my first month ever playing it. And so yeah, I'm not good. There's still so much to learn, and so much practice to be done to get good. But I did get like my highest kills yesterday, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's a fun game, but I'm just not good, and duos is just difficult for me, man. It's completely different than solos. So you just have to have different strategy, and it's like, I don't know, like, sometimes I'll be running and I think I see somebody, but it's my partner. I'll think it's my partner, and then I'll just get shot up. So it's like, I don't know, man. I still got to get used to it all, but it's cool. But yeah, definitely go check that out. Gonna be streaming, fingers crossed, every Thursday on YouTube, and then hopefully a handful of the other days you can catch it on Twitch. We really have to get back into the groove with that. But like I said, once the Padres started, it's like, I don't want to be streaming while the Padre games are going on. So that's more important to me, is watching the games. But I don't know. I do know I have to be consistent with the streaming and all of that. So it is what it is. But yeah, new gameplay video up yesterday. So this was interesting. Post Malone on the Joe Rogan Experience. That was I know it's a couple days old now, but I watched some of it on Wednesday, and then finished it yesterday. And man, that was super interesting. I knew right when I saw it was like close to 4 hours. And then like one of the first things I said is like, oh, we're both we got Bud Light here. We're both on mushrooms and something else. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a very interesting episode. So it was exciting. I really liked that episode. Post Malone is very interesting. And to see Joe Rogan have that kind of interaction with him as well, it's just something I definitely was not expecting at all. But, you know, they had good chemistry and they were able to keep talking and keep bullshitting for like, you know, close to 4 hours. Post Malone was definitely there for over 4 hours because it was like 3 hours and 49 minutes of, you know, recorded, you know, podcast. And at one point they took a break and took a piss or whatever. So he was definitely there at the studio for longer than 4 hours. But yeah, it was an interesting combo mix right there. I thought anyway. I wasn't expecting it, but when I saw it was like 4 hours long, and then the first thing that was said, like, we're both high on mushrooms and stuff, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be interesting stuff. I'm just gonna grind up some of this bud. I forget which one this was. It's probably that Tropicana Punch or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember what I had. Probably the Tropicana Punch though. From Farmer and the Felon. Need to get more today because this is the last of what I have, and I think I have like one more dab in the house. So I am gonna need a dispensary run. That's why I can't wait for my grow to be finished, man, and I can just be able to smoke my own. That'll be nice. My neighbor broke me off some of his early plant that he had to kind of cut a little early just due to worms and everything like that. This was a good looking plant though, you know, and it was really close to being done anyway. It's probably cut maybe a couple weeks premature, which is unfortunate, but I understood his position where it's like might as well save what we can from it, and instead of having the whole plant destroyed by these worms, because man, it was tough. But he he's been letting it dry, and he gave me some. It still needs to cure up, but it looks and smells good so far, man. I haven't had any yet. I'm gonna just let it cure up all the way, maybe another week or so, and then I'll try it for sure. I'm excited. I'm excited about everything getting closer and closer to being done. With the grow, the outdoor is almost done. Probably another couple weeks. Indoor, another 3 weeks to a month. And then, you know, probably 2 months after that, then we'll be able to have some smokable stuff. So, looking like 3 more months. Yeah, I'm thinking November, so right around holiday time, like I keep saying, and kind of how I envision it. Like right around holiday time, we should have a pretty good harvest, and you know, hopefully we get some more seeds here soon, and we can start the next batch going pretty shortly after that. I do have a couple clones going in the tent, so those will be the next round going up, and those are looking really nice right now. So when the autoflowers indoor kind of finish up, those 2 clones will kind of just take up the space in there. And then, yeah, like I said, hopefully get some more autoflower seeds, and then just do a couple outdoors as well, and just keep that cycle and rotation going. I love it. I love growing. I love cannabis. So that's, you know, gotta do it. And I'm excited. I'm excited to try my own stuff, and knowing that it's all, you know, where it came from, the soil I use, the nutrients and everything like that, and checking on it like 5-6 times a day, like, you know, it'll be cool. I'm anxious to kind of see exactly how it turns out. So we'll see. Let's get into the snap though. Cheers. Clean glass. Clean glass, clean water. Cheers. I haven't had flour in a couple of days. Just been taking dabs. So, flour hits different, man. Flour really hits different. It's crazy. It's a much heavier smoke, like thicker. But I like it all, man. I like it all. So I would definitely go recommend the Post Malone Joe Rogan Experience podcast interview thing, whatever. Interview, it's not an interview, it's just bullshit session, talking, conversation. That's what it is. Go check it out. I enjoyed it. Takes up a good part of the day. And like I said, I broke it up into 2 sessions. But it was interesting, fascinating. It was really cool to see. I didn't know Post Malone cut his hair. He was all like bald. I was like, what the hell? Interesting. So what else happened yesterday? Man, this was funny. I didn't even remember that I was supposed to have a therapy appointment yesterday. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to have one. It was the day before my dad's birthday and all that. We set it up, but all of a sudden I was just chilling at home and got a text message from my therapist around noon saying, oh, all set. I was like, oh man, I guess so. Good thing I wasn't doing anything. But yeah, we finally went over a part of the results from my personality test thing that I took handful of weeks ago. And it was really interesting. Nothing too much that kind of stood out. It's kind of all stuff that's been prevalent in the past and things that I kind of have stumbled across myself with the borderline personality disorder that was kind of brought up. Bipolar disorder was brought up, and that's just interesting because those two kind of go hand in hand, being kind of mixed up and confused for each other. And I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder super young, like pretty early on, maybe like 12, 13 years old or something like that. And I just went along with it because I didn't know, and this was a doctor, a professional, and so I just always assumed that label and, never really looked into it or anything like that. It was what it was, and that's what that's what it was. And then, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I heard about the term borderline personality disorder, and the definition and the explanation of it and all that, and that is what really struck home with me. And yeah, it was kind of just interesting to see both of those things pop up kind of in the test. And then another interesting thing was that's kind of underlying was PTSD, which is a really interesting, just, it's like everybody has trauma in different ways. So it's like you think of somebody with PTSD, like, who had been like abused or raped or coming home from war or something like that, like dealing with those big traumatic experiences. But it's like, for me, I've had a lot of little traumatic experiences. I don't know, but it's just like boom, 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 kind of one after the other. And I just, being wired the way my brain is wired, I just don't deal with these things or don't know how to cope with them properly or whatever. So I'm the way I am now because of it, you know? Um but yeah, it was interesting. So that one was kind of an interesting standout. Um I do have a slight bit of paranoia, which, I feel is validated just due to everything we know about the government and all of that. It's like some of the questions is like, are you being followed? Are you being tracked? And it's like, yes. And admittedly so by the government and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like the paranoia is real or based in like valid reasons and stuff, you know? It's like I don't know if the question should have been like, are you being followed by someone you care? Like I don't know how they could have worded it differently or better, but it's like, and these tests are really old, so could have been like different and not have this foresight into it. But um, what else? I mean, just the depression was there, obviously. Man, some of the other stuff was just really interesting as well. Um, he says something like under one of the subcategories or whatever, it was a masochist and sadistic. So that was really interesting, but he kind of said it in a way. He gave me this good quote for masochistic. It said, "I'll be good when I'm loved," or "I'll be loved when I'm good." Sorry, I switched that around. I'll be loved when I'm good, or I'll be loved if I'm good. And that's exactly how I feel. Like when he said that quote and kind of described, like you really normally think of like sadist and masochist in like a sexual way, but the way he described it to me is like the masochist is like self-harm, self like hate, like that type of stuff. More on the self and um then like he said the quote, I'll be good or I'll be loved if I'm good. And that's exactly my thought process on things. And then being hard on myself and all that. So it was really interesting to see it kind of put out that way. Like I never knew that. And the sadistic thing was like he said it's you find joy out of pain of others, which isn't necessarily true, but he also said those around you are a source of sadness. So, which is 100% true because it's like I look at all these people in my life who have, different things going on. And it's like I get jealous of them and it makes me really sad because I just see where I'm at and it's nowhere near that, So, and I just have all these people throughout my life that are, doing much better in my eyes than I am. And yeah, so the way he kind of laid it all out, it all made sense. But it's like, again, you think of those terms kind of more in a sexual nature. And that's not, I guess, the case. And he explained that to me and broke it down that way. So those were kind of the interesting things. Some of the things I've never even really heard of, and some of them, are more prominent than others. Some of them are just kind of types. Some are disorders. Some are just styles. So it just kind of not all of those are all disorders or anything like that, but there are some things that now we know to kind of gear towards and kind of really focus in on and work towards. So yeah, I'm kind of glad like that we had that appointment that I kind of forgot about. And there's more results to go over. He said there's like a 7-page thing that we didn't even get through because it's so detailed and thorough and all of that, and just me taking notes, asking questions, and all that. So, the next appointment should be interesting. Dive even more deep into those results and, get a better understanding of kind of what's going on. But I did think it was really interesting what we did find out yesterday. And it's like, it is what it is, I don't really care about sharing it. It's like, it is it's a part of me, And to kind of have that to be able to just be honest and have that vulnerability is important to me. So at least that's how I see it. So what else was going on yesterday? I know our buddy, I was maybe thinking about going. I think there was supposed to be one in Temecula, but then I saw that our buddy Isaiah went to Del Mar for a child trafficking protest. He went with his girlfriend or whatever, and they made signs and stuff, and yeah, so shout out to him, being real active and being vocal, going to these protests and doing his thing. It's like I really want to do those things, but it's just interesting because going back to yesterday's results, it's like one of the things that I didn't talk about was avoidance. And it's like I try and avoid certain situations, and I try not to put myself into a position where it'll cause pain, like me pain, short-term pain. So it's like I avoid a lot of things, and it just was super prevalent yesterday, which I just thought was really interesting. And it's like I want to go to these things, but it's like it's so hard for me to actually go. It's like I probably wouldn't have even gone to the comedy show if Zach didn't buy the tickets and say, I got you one. You know what I mean? Like, it takes that type of, not force, but whatever that is, it takes that to kind of really get me motivated or whatever. It's like, I don't know, because I'm just such a procrastinator, man. It's like, I just called my health insurance and got signed up on the very last day yesterday. I had yesterday to do it, and it was the last day, and I decided to do it, and I had since handful of weeks ago to get it done. But it is what it is. That's just who I am. I am whatever you say I am. God damn. Let's get into another little snap here. And then we will get into some other stuff. I don't know how I want to do this, but I guess we'll just do it in the order I have it. Yeah. I guess that's what we'll do. I don't know. I guess that was kind of all I had for my recap. Well, that's not true because it's like, all of this kind of blends in together over the last 2 days. So it is what it is. I'll kind of break down which day is which. Yeah, I was trying to just figure out the best way to kind of go about this, but I'll just do it, like I said, the way I have it written out. Let's get into this. Cheers. All right. So on Wednesday, there was that big social media and big tech hearing. That was kind of interesting. And then the day before that was the William Barr hearing testimony thing, which I watched a good portion of. So I'm really trying to be involved and be aware of all of this going on. And again, just watching this hearing thing, whatever whatever these things are, were just really interesting, like fascinating in my opinion. It's like, you had Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Google's Sundar, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and Apple's Tim Cook, all kind of being, I don't want to say interrogated, but under this court hearing, they all appeared from their house, kind of under this Zoom type thing, and it's hard to explain, but it was just really interesting to see both Republicans and Democrats concerned about these companies, and but concerned about them in different ways, because the Democrats don't want these companies to have a monopoly on the internet and these types of platforms and things like that, and the Republicans don't really care about that. It's like they're all about free market and all of that kind of stuff. And businesses being able to operate and being able to create businesses, and you can buy out other businesses if you want. Like, that's all a part of business capitalism. Like, that's all a part of the game and the system we're in. So it's like the Republicans don't really care about that. They're more concerned about the left-leaning bias coming from these companies, and the ads and the restriction and suppression on certain things and websites and all of that. So it was just really interesting to see the Republicans and Democrats kind of both agreeing that these companies are not operating properly, but then the Republicans and Democrats are still just infighting and not agreeing on things. So it's just really, like I said before, it's just a game, man. Like, when you watch these things, it's just a game, and it's like the same things were being said. I'm reclaiming my time. And it was yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching more of these, because this is just really fascinating. Just watching how this is all kind of done and operated. It doesn't seem like the best way, giving these people only like 5 minutes, and I don't know. But then how do you, like, then it could go on forever if you don't put a time on it. So I get it, but it just doesn't seem like the ideal way to go about it. I don't know. I don't know, but that was interesting, that whole social media and big tech hearing. I didn't end up seeing all of it. I didn't see the beginning of it, and I got kind of sidetracked. I had to go water my plants, so then I didn't see the end of it. By the time I got back in, it was all done and over. So I don't really know how it ends. I don't know about that, but it was just interesting to watch, kind of like the 45 minutes to an hour or so that I did watch of it. It was just interesting. It was interesting. I don't know if I saw Tim Cook, maybe. But seeing Mark Zuckerberg there, Bezos, and Sundar, I don't know I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last name. Pichai. Yeah, it was just interesting to see all of those people there and how their reactions were to some of these questions, man. It was kind of really telling, in my opinion, just listening to those guys speak. It was very calculated, They knew exactly kind of what to say. Yeah. It, like I said, it was just interesting, and the more and more I'm kind of becoming aware of politics and becoming more involved. Yeah, just watching these things, it's really interesting. So this is why I was like, oh, I don't know how to go about this, because then it jumps to the Padres, which is fine. This is fine. Just all over the place, because then we get back into some other stuff, like big news related. So the Padres, man, Wednesday, they started 4-1, so they had the opportunity to go 5-1. And I went to bed. It was around the 7th inning or so. And the Giants had just scored their third run, but the Padres were up 6-3 at the time. I was like, cool, Padres are up. I'm just going to go to bed. I'm feeling tired. And then I woke up at like 12:30 or something like that in the at like midnight or whatever, and threw on Twitter, saw that the Padres lost 7-6. Oh man, that was rough. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, no way. Oh man. But the Giants got it done, and then I was really interested to see how the Padres were going to respond last night after a kind of loss that got away. And started watching it, and I went to bed again. I went into bed through the laptop on this time, though, but I passed out pretty quick, so I woke up and saw what happened. But when I went to bed, it was 6-1. So I was like, oh, do I even chance to go to bed? And same thing's going to happen and all that. But I was like, I'm tired. I just want to go to bed. But like I said, I threw on the game and watched it while I fell asleep. And then, dude, I woke up and saw that the Padres did end up winning, but 12-7 in the 10th inning. And I was like, what the heck happened, man? And they scored, I think it was like 7-7 or something in the 9th. And then they ended up scoring a handful of runs in the 10th inning there and closed it out. But man, I was like, are you kidding me? What is going on? Their bullpen is really struggling right now. They got to really figure that out and make some adjustments in that aspect, because man, I do not be needing that. Waking up at midnight and seeing this, one a blown game and then one that got away, and then they did end up winning, which is good. But man, and then the catcher position is just getting no production. I know, did Mejia even get a hit yesterday? I don't even think so. I don't know. And then Hedges laid down that bunt. I don't even think he got a hit for that, because that would have been a fielder's choice, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look at the lines and see what they scored it with, but I just know the catcher position just has not been having any production, and it's kind of really frustrating, because Austin Hedges is really good defensively and really good at framing and all of that, but just, man, his offense these last couple of seasons has been terrible. And he said he's been making some adjustments and working on things, but it just has not been happening yet. And the same goes with Mejia, man. It's like, he's younger and everything like that. His defense is not as strong. When he has the offense, he can be pretty decent, but the offense just isn't there right now, and it makes for a really tough spot. It's like the Padres don't even have a designated hitter right now. It's like the catcher is kind of like that pitcher spot for him, so it's a little frustrating. But they're winning. Like they're what, 5-2 now or something like that. So it's man, and the season is just moving. The season is just moving along. And I don't know if they have another game with the Giants tonight or what they're doing. I think I heard that they're going to Colorado next or something, and then they come back home for the Dodgers or something. So that, it could be very pivotal. Like yesterday was a really pivotal game already. Like in the first handful of games, first two handfuls of games, it's already a pivotal game because you did not want to go 4-3. Man, that would not be a good start. So going 5-2, see what happens tonight. I believe they are playing tonight. I could be off with that, but hopefully getting that win, going 6-2, and then headed to Colorado. I believe that's how it goes. I could be off on that though. But shout out to the Padres, man. Their uniforms are looking so clean. Their road uniforms were looking fire, man. I wouldn't be surprised. Best uniforms in baseball, but I am biased and I love San Diego. But that brown is just something else, man. And then the pinstripe brown, just really great uniforms in my opinion. Looks clean, man. It really does. It really does. I love the uniforms this season, and I believe this is, the thing going forward for them. So it's awesome. Again, shout out to the Padres and MLB. I know the NBA came back, but I don't really care about that. Clippers lost, so it's a bummer. But yeah, I don't really care about the NBA, and especially with them not addressing the China situation and the hashtag Free Hong Kong. It's just kind of ridiculous. It's like they get a ton of money from China, and you see how they're being treated. We all know what's going on over there. And a lot of these NBA players are going to come out and criticize America and Trump and all of that while collecting this paycheck from China, which does really, admittedly, evil, awful things to their people. So that's why I don't really care about the NBA. And if these other companies do it too, please make me aware. And if they're not speaking out as well, then I'll start to maybe not pay attention as well to those, because that's not okay. That's not cool. But for now, shout out the Padres. Gotta do it. Gotta love the Padres. Okay, so let's get into some of this good stuff. We got two more topics. So Donald Trump the other day sent out this tweet. I think it was yesterday. Could have been yesterday, maybe the day before. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. He sent out this tweet saying, quote, "With universal mail-in voting, not absentee voting, which is good, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. It will be a great embarrassment to the USA. Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote, question mark, question mark, question mark." End quote. Ooh, so it sounds like a lot of people kind of got up in arms about this tweet, and doing a little bit of research, just a quick little, search. It's like he himself cannot delay the date of the election, and both the House and the Senate, from what it sounds like, are not in favor of doing changing the date. Um, but I understand what he's saying. So hold on. This says Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell um reportedly agreed in an interview that the current date is, quote, set in stone on Thursday, and top Democrats rejected the idea of rescheduling. The date could move theoretically with action by Congress, but that would require agreement by both the Democrats who control the House and the Republicans who control the Senate. So, again, it just doesn't seem like it would feasibly be able to happen. And damn, how interesting would that be, though? But again, I kind of understand what he's saying, like with mail-in voting, but it's like I don't understand the difference between mail-in voting and absentee voting. It's like, isn't it kind of the same thing? Um, so maybe if somebody could explain that to me, please help me understand. Um, like tell me the difference, because but I do understand it's like having a ton of ballots and all of that go through the United States Postal Service all within a handful of days is probably not the ideal thing to do. And how many times have people lost things in the mail? And, how efficient would it be? How easily would the fraud be able to happen? Um, it seems like there's mixed reports on that whole situation where it is a where it's fine, and then there's been reports and studies where it's like been a complete disaster and a complete mess when they try and do it by mail. So man, I don't really know. I'm too dumb to kind of understand the whole ins and outs of everything. But I do know, the Postal Service does lose things. It's not the most efficient process. It's more human interaction, but I don't know. I don't know what you do. It's like people would be scared to go out and really vote just due to the COVID and all of that. And it's like this is exactly what I feel the Democrats wanted. They want people scared, and they want a way. And I understand what Trump is saying. Like, if the Democrats have been known to rig these elections and all of that, so it's like, but the Republicans too. So, but then certain Republicans and then like a lot of Democrats don't like Trump. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but man, November will be interesting. November will be interesting. I mean, I'm just going to say it now. I'm not voting for Trump. I'm not voting for Biden. I still have to do my research into the libertarian candidate, Joe Jorgensen, I believe her name is, something like that. I do have to look more into her policies and, maybe watch a couple interviews and things like that. I know she said some kind of questionable things on Twitter about a week or so ago, about the Black Lives Matter movement, which kind of made the libertarian movement a little upset. So who knows, man? It's like I might be just sitting this one out again. I don't know, but maybe a write-in vote or something. I don't know. Like, I really have to kind of vote for somebody who I truly believe in. And like, I don't believe in either of the two candidates. You know what I mean? So, and especially like, man, if Trump decides not to give up power and all of that, this could be really, really scary, man. Do I see that happening? It could happen, man. It really could. And maybe that's the whole end goal. To cause this, that would be the real true civil war. It would be that. It would be this crazy election and fraudulent in whatever manner. And the people who want to go with Trump will go with Trump. The people who want to go with the other voted president, which would be, I'm assuming, Biden, would go with Biden. And then we'd have this complete separated thing. And I feel that's when there would be civil wars going on, like legitimately. And this just popped into my head. This is just me thinking about it right now. And I think there's something to that. I really do. So November, this election, if it's not a clear-cut thing, be prepared. That's just my opinion and my guess on things with just how everything is going. It seems like that would make the most sense. And if that's the end game, whew, we got to be more aware. We can't let that happen. So I'm going to talk to some people about that and see if they kind of are getting that same feeling. Because that, I mean, I'm thinking about it now, and that is the way to really start a civil war and a real division of things. Like, damn, that would be crazy. We'll see what happens, but man, if somebody can bookmark this one and, you know, we'll see. Like, I think this is a key prediction. Do I want it to happen? Absolutely not. Do I think it can happen? Absolutely yes. So how do we stop it? How do we come together as people and make sure that this civil war type thing does not happen? I don't know. Ooh, I gotta sneeze. Ooh, made it go away, hopefully. Ooh. All right, made it go away. All right, so that's that, man. That was interesting. And definitely made me start thinking a little bit. So I have to talk about this. The Ghislaine Maxwell case. I guess there's the unsealed documents have been released. It's like, I don't know how many pages. I could be off on it. I want to say like 2,400 pages or something like that. I could be off on that though. I think I read that somewhere, but again, this is all just reading off of the internet, so I don't know what's true. And it's like I'm hearing different names being attached to all this, and it's like, dude, I don't know if any of this is true. It's like these Q drops or these unsealed documents or whatever. It's like, dude, I don't fucking know if any of this is true because I'm just seeing it through online, and it's like I haven't looked for it myself, and there are articles stating that the unsealed documents have been released and all of that, so it looks to be true. But it's just like I don't know. I don't know if these are just memes. I don't know. I don't know. It drives me crazy. So, and again, like I don't want to look up something and it be a complete fabricated unsealed document thing. So it's like I don't know. That's how they get you, man. With this mass confusion, they try and discredit Q, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, these unsealed documents are dropped, and it's a frustrating time to be a truth movement conspiracy theorist, man. It really is. But it's a fascinating time because there is so much going on. The whole playbook is being used right now, and it is just so many different things. Just, you know, just look at it all. There is a ton of things going on. Let's get into this. Cheers. All right, so this quote I believe was from the judge. It says, quote, "The court finds that any minor embarrassment or annoyance resulting from the disclosure of Miss Maxwell's mostly non-testimony about behavior that has been widely reported in the press is far outweighed by the presumption of public access," Judge Loretta Preska stated during the hearing. Maxwell was arrested July 2nd on a 6-count federal indictment charging her with grooming 3 underage girls to be sexually abused by her and Epstein. She's being held without bail at the Metropolitan Detention Center, and her trial is scheduled to start next July. Again, I don't know about all the documents and the names being named on social media. I don't know the validity of all of that. That's something to look into. But we do know all of this is kind of true. She is being held. We still haven't seen a mugshot, which is really interesting. But it's interesting that the judge was like basically saying, I don't care about any little embarrassment or annoyance. This needs to be disclosed. So, yeah. And it's like he said, like the mostly non-testimony. So, I don't know, was it mostly peaceful? I don't know what that means. I don't know. It's just all really interesting. It's an interesting time, man. That's basically all that I'm saying. Is like there's so many sub stories going on in the world right now where it's like, do you want to tune into COVID news? Do you want to turn into sports news? Do you want to turn into Donald Trump? Do you want to turn into the Ghislaine Maxwell? Do you want to turn into just reality TV? Or, you know what I mean? There's so many different sub stories going on in the world. And, you know, oh, then you got, like I said, the stuff in China. You got the stuff in the Middle East. Trump pulled out or is pulling out troops from Germany or something like that. So there is so much going on in the world, and just doesn't seem like the mainstream really does a good job at presenting all the information. They just kind of focus on these stories that don't really matter. I don't know. Like, oh, Trump tweeted this or Trump said this, and it's like, okay, let's just get to the root of the problem. Let's fix things. But I don't know. They're in the business of ratings and advertisement, and they are just doing their job. So they don't necessarily care about all the other stuff or the truth or whatever. So I don't know. But man, for her to be held in that detention center for a year, it's really interesting, man. That's where it's like, okay, is something gonna happen? That's a long time. Will they speed up the trial? Who knows? It's something to keep your eye on, that's for sure. Because if something happens to her, man, then a lot of this just goes away kind of for good, yeah? And then what happens? Then these people allegedly named, are still roaming free and still doing their thing. So who knows, man? Who knows what's gonna happen? It's definitely something to keep our eye on and pay attention to. All of this is, man. I mean, you don't have to pay attention to the sports stuff. But when it comes down to like the news, this information, the pedophile stuff, the child sex trafficking, the delay in the election, what's going to happen with the election, just all of that, man, it's really important to kind of pay attention to. I didn't mention, but today in Hollywood, there is a protest going on as well, a child trafficking protest. And I believe my buddy Isaiah, again, shout out to him, is going to that one. So shout out to Isaiah, being very active and spreading the word. You can I interact with him on Instagram and Facebook, so maybe you can go find him through that. But yeah, man, he's always posting the truth and posting, like I said, posting the truth and then being active and actually going to these protests and stuff like that. So shout him out. I definitely have to, give him some praise there because he's actually, putting his money where his mouth is, so to speak, and being active. And I got to salute that. I'm being active in my own way. Like I said, I deal with my mental health stuff, and it's a struggle for me to go out and do things. And especially if people don't align with me and kind of how I live morally, like I don't want to go carpool with somebody who isn't a vegan and stuff or who doesn't eat plant-based. So it's like that I struggle with as well. It's like I just struggle with a lot of things, so I just kind of keep to myself most of the time. And I don't really want to involve other people in it. But, it is what it is. Let's take this last little snap here, and then I am going to get on out of here. Get on out of here. Cheers, everybody. All right, everybody. Thank you for still listening. Make sure to go check out those links in the description below. Again, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Have a good weekend. Hopefully a new Drew and Chase side-by-side will be out. Hopefully we get that done this weekend. We'll see. Go check out No World Order podcast. Go check out @the_No World Order on Instagram. Check out Tuesday Morning Tokes. And I will be back Monday for the Real Word podcast. And until then, peace.